Overpromise your competition. Your competition, they're hardwired to avoid failure. And this is where you can gain a massive competitive advantage. I'm Nick McLean, founder of TGB, Team Growth Brokerage, author of Million Dollar Agent, the proven playbook to build a real estate empire. And this Million Dollar Team principle, number 18, is overpromising your competition. Your competition, they're hardwired to avoid failure. When they do marketing and advertising, they use vague platitudes. Honesty, integrity, will be there alongside you every step of the way, almost promising a perfect journey. But at the same time, the consumer knows that they really have no skin in the game. If they list their home with this agent and the agent doesn't sell it, the agent doesn't lose anything. They go on a buyer journey and the transaction falls apart, the buyer's agent really doesn't cost them anything other than their time and their energy. And they just are hardwired not to guarantee anything. And if you look at companies across North America or the world that have succeeded and really reached heights never seen before, they made bold promises. In fact, Alaska Airlines, for example, makes a bold promise that you will have your baggage within 30 minutes or they give you something. It's a promise. It's a guarantee. And you need to do the same thing in your business. What are you going to promise the consumer that you will do? What will you promise them? See, most of us have been hardwired not to make a promise that we cannot keep. I think it has high character to say, I won't make a promise that I can't keep. At the same time, it holds us back from making promises unless we're absolutely certain we're going to succeed. And in life, there is absolutely no scenario which you can be absolutely certain. So a promise has a guarantee and a consequence if that guarantee doesn't happen. Like Alaska Airlines, if your bags don't make it, we promise they will, but if they don't, then you get points. What happens at your company? If you promise that you can get them through the inspection, but they don't make it through the inspection, are you willing to pay for the next inspection? Right? If the home doesn't appraise, are you willing to pay for the next appraisal? If the listing doesn't sell, what are you willing to do? For us in our company over many years, if we weren't able to sell your listing, we would buy it. Now there was agreed upon price and some terms and conditions that we controlled, but we were able to make a bold promise that our competition wasn't willing to make. So really think outside the box in terms of the offers you can make that are promises that have consequence that you're willing to do and fulfill it. Because let's be honest, think of a scenario that happens in your business that time to dime costs the consumer money and offer them a backstop. For instance, and I'm not saying to do this, but there's always a fear of losing money in a transaction. So a buyer might do the inspection, like I said, lose money. They might do an appraisal, lose money. They only lose money if they don't fulfill the contract. But what if they don't want the house anymore, if they have cold feet, right? See, we're hardwired to say, I'm not going to cover anything because I'm not getting paid either. And really what you want to do is you have to understand asymmetrical risk. How often will it actually happen? And what happens, do I increase the number of sales because I make this offer, right? So on average, 15% of deals fall through on the buyer end. So you can statistically say 15% of the time, this is the cost of doing business. I'm gonna have to pay for an inspection. But if I was able to promote this home inspection guarantee, or I pay for your home inspection, then you can kind of calculate the cost of doing business. Now you might be able to find a home inspector willing to give you a better deal. Maybe you pay for the home inspection, and in that case, it's less money. Maybe you're able to say that you pay for the home inspection in lieu of getting a home warranty negotiated in the contract. So you could say, I have a I pay for my home inspections for all of my clients, and they get to choose the home inspector because you don't want to say that you're picking the home inspector. And in the event that you're not happy with the home inspection, no problem. Right, I'll pay for your second or your third home inspection as well. It's pretty bold. And it's also stating that, hey, you're willing to let them back out. See, when they're getting into the home inspection process, they're thinking, well, my agent's going to try to talk me into continuing on with this home, even if the repairs aren't there. Now, I'm not saying go out there and do some magical home inspection guarantee, or I'm willing to pay for home inspections because I promise you'll get a home that you are comfortable with the property's conditions and repairs. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's ways to think outside the box. Maybe you have a guarantee on a home price. I guarantee to price your home perfectly to the marketplace, or I will lower my commission in the event it sells for less than that amount, right? I will lower my commission or pay you back if it sells for less than the agreed upon price. Okay, something like that. And then you could have a certified appraiser saying it's based on a number that the appraiser says. You could have a certified price guarantee where you have a triangulated price. So you get a price, I give you a price as your professional agent. We give you a computerized valuation price, and then we give you a price based on an appraisal. Now that appraiser could be paid by me or it could be paid by you. It just depends. Many sellers would hire an appraiser if they were offered that, a way to go about it. And you could have a relationship with an appraiser. Hey, if maybe you sell 500 homes a year and you want an appraiser on your staff, you could have a certified appraiser on your staff. I'm not saying that's what you need to do, but it's something you could do. And also there's online valuable reports. So be bold, make promises, make guarantees, certify, stamp, and do it. Be creative, be bold, be innovative. Your competition won't do it. They're not willing to do it. In fact, you could do any promise you want. If I can't sell your home in 60 days, then I'll buy you a latte every week until it does, right? Or you get a $200 gift card to a steakhouse. There's so many different things you could do. They seem gimmicky at some level, but at some level they're not. Les Schwab, a tire center, made bold promises like that, and they gave away beef, for goodness sakes. And they also guarantee that they would do roadside assistance on any of their tires, right? Why would they do something so crazy as that? They don't want to have to guarantee their tires to nails and rebar and glass, but they did because they're like, well, if I'm going to buy a tire and it's the same price here and compared to Les Schwab, that's the differentiator, right? Same price tires, but Les Schwab's going to give me roadside assistance within 50 miles of my tire center. It's a no-brainer. Plus, who's crazy enough to say something like that? And your marketing, your bold marketing is actually a demonstration of the marketing you're going to do and the out-of-the-box thinking you can provide to them for their home. They don't want just your listing marketing and your marketing prowess and your portal and your MLS and your Zillow and your Truly and your Redfin. No, what they want is, hey, how can you tweak and customize my marketing and put a spin on and think outside the box? And that package of the out-of-the-box marketing is demonstrated by the out-of-the-box marketing that you're doing to attract them to your company. Make big, bold promises. Overpromise your competition. Guarantee it and back it up. And you're going to see sellers and buyers lining out your door to work with you.